McMartin case. The McMartin case broke in the early 1980s. The children claimed that after they were dropped off by their parents at this preschool, Manhattan Beach, California, they were involved in various ceremonies, including ceremonies in a chamber underneath the school. They claimed there were tunnels under the school. They claimed they were molested under the school. They claimed there were children that were sacrificed, the satanic type ceremonies, adults in robes chanting without any clothes underneath them, candles, the whole 9 yards. The authorities went out in 1985, claimed they looked for evidence of the tunnels. The kids said, in addition to the tunnels, that they were flown up into the mountains, Crestline in particular, or at least to the mountains. They didn't name Crestline, they were too young to know the difference, by jet airplanes. So I did some checking on my own. You can flip it. And as a result, in the early April 1991, I gained access to the property. And from the access, I hired archaeologist, Dr. Gary Stickle, at UCLA. He brought in a team of individuals, professionals, and we dug for tunnels under the school. Whereas the authorities could not find the tunnels and subsequently stated that the children were hallucinating, there's nothing to it, we found the tunnels ourselves. And these are, Sue, I think we're kind of out of order there. Can you kind of watch me and we can, Sue? I mean, Bryce, can you kind of watch me because, huh? Well, they were in order. Okay, this is an example of the school. We went out and dug it up and went down and looked into the cross of the dirt. What happens is when you go take a cross section straight down, you can see foreign dirt that had been filled into the tunnels. Keep going, Sue. That's the entrance to the tunnel under the Dog West classroom. Keep going, Sue. Now, the interesting fact here is that these avocado roots were live. There was a dead avocado root over here, which meant that the entrance to the tunnel, there was a 9-foot entrance that had been cut as so. Keep going, Sue. Upside down. Other way. Keep going. Other way. That was the concrete, no, keep going around. That's it. That was the arch between classroom 3 and classroom 4. It was actually the arch, and that was the tunnel that went through there. This was a pentagram that we found on the plate in the sandbox. We found this Disney bag, plastic Disney bag, copyright 1982, 1983, in the entrance of the tunnel, actually under the foundation, so it could not have been placed there in 1966 when the building was built. It had to be in place there sometime subsequent to 1982. The tunnel's been filled in. Keep going, Sue. This is the live avocado root that I mentioned to you a few moments ago, and some more. And this is a diagram of the tunnel entrance. There's the live avocado root. Here's a dead one. And that was, as I said, about 9 feet across. Another diagram. That's where we found the plastic Disney bag right there. Keep going. And that's the diagram of the school. There is the west entrance that I showed you just a few moments ago. That's the chamber. The tunnel went across the 4th classroom to the 3rd classroom. We didn't have time to explore it further. We ran out of money and also time. We were kicked off the lot, actually. There's a tunnel here. The children claimed that they were taken up into the triplex of the next door, the bathroom of the triplex. There was a trap door there, and taken out into the community and prostituted. We found that the trap door in the bathroom of the triplex next door. Keep going, sir. Keep going. The kids said that they were taken up into the mountains, flown up into the mountains. I had an informant that told me that she had an idea where the children were taken, abandoned satanic site now, by the way, and this was up in Crestline. These are pictures of the site. It was built on the side of the mountain. Just keep going, sir. It was impossible to see it from the street. You could only see it from down below, and it didn't mean anything because it was so many miles away, or from a helicopter or an airplane. You could see the massive size of it. The street was over on the top there, so anybody driving down the street could not have seen what was going on down here. This is, I'm sure, where some of the ceremonies were taking place of the kids who were flown up there. Keep going. That's probably, I don't know what that is. That's, but I think it's about 9 feet across. What would that be, Sue? Altar? Okay. This is, it's down in there. It's where the site is. This would be where the street is, so you can see you couldn't see it. Keep going. That's probably, that was an altar we think that was broken, a big stone. 666, that was carved in one of the rocks. That was a large circle with all kinds of writing. I couldn't get up high enough to take it all in and get it all on one picture, or a series of pictures. That was in the dungeon. They had a dungeon with the drop hole. The hole was probably about 2.5 by 3 feet, and it was about 10 feet down. It was below the surface. The ceiling was probably about 8 feet high. I think that's where they held their captives before they sacrificed them. Some ovens that were on the property. This is a sign, and you can take the next slide and put it overlay it on top of it. And can you see it there? Oh, turn it around. Turn the overlay. Yeah, that's it. And this is one of the signs that was there. Can you read that up there, Sue? Yeah, read it out loud.
The seal of Amethyst.
It was a seal of one of the satanic signs. Go ahead, take the next one. And put the overlay on top of it. Armistice Day.
It's upside down.
Okay, that's all right. Go on to the next slide. Some more of the site. This is looking over the edge. This would have been where the abandoned satanic site was. Over the edge, you can see that there's no way that you could see it from down below. This is the road that goes down to San Bernardino. These are the 8 basic satanic holidays. We have one coming up, Halloween, very shortly. Witches celebrate the dead. And the next calendar is a more detailed list of the holidays, satanic holidays during the year. Just flip them over real fast. Tells in detail about the purpose of each holiday, sexual climax and so forth, blood and so forth. Okay? Now, during the McMartin case, at the time that it broke, I called the U.S. attorney, not the U.S. attorney, but the district attorney, and I told him, I talked to Leo Rubin, who was the prosecutor. I said, I think I know where the children were taken up in the mountains, and I'd be glad to take you up there and maybe have the children go. Just turn it off a minute. Have the children go up and maybe they can identify it. She said she wasn't interested. During the second trial, the first trial, Ray Bucky had a hung jury. Second trial, we discovered the tunnels under the school. I called the district attorney, They came out, a fellow named Perez, investigator, said he wasn't interested. There weren't tunnels there. He wanted to argue with the archaeologists. They could have used the tunnels as a second trial. They didn't. Why? The children identified an actor, household name politicians, professional baseball players, professional football players. In my opinion, it was a major cover-up. Okay, Sue, turn it on. So what's going on in America today and around the world? What we're talking about?